Welcome to the Sage Video On Demand presentation, Fast and Easy Codeless Customization within Sage CRM. After viewing this session, you'll have a better understanding of how easy it is to add a field and place it on a screen within Sage CRM. Let's take a look at our topics. We're going to go through and add a field to the company table. We're then going to place that field on the company entry screen, the company search screen, and a company grid. So let's dive in and actually start doing this process now. We've navigated over to Sage CRM. I've logged in as administrator. Within Sage CRM, I'm going to click on the administration toggle. This takes us to the area of administration within Sage CRM. I'm going to right click on customization and I'm going to choose company. Within the company, we navigate and land on the fields tab. Within the fields tab, we're going to click on new and we're going to add a new company field to the database. For the entry type, we're going to select selection. The company field name will be football. The caption will be football teams. We'll use the selection height of 1. We're going to create a new lookup list, so we'll choose create new lookup. We can't set a default because we haven't built any values yet, so we'll click on save, and at this point this is adding that field to the database, and then once this gets done, I will then be able to actually go into Sage CRM and have the ability to add additional selection values to our selection list. I now have my selection list available, so we'll add in a couple of teams. We'll put in the Steelers, type in a translation, which is the value we see on the screen, and then a code, which is the value stored in the database. We then clear out our values. We're then going to add in, I'll put in the 49ers, add that in, clear that out. We'll put in the Falcons, and I think you get the idea. Now I can go in and if I want to reorder these or relabel them, I can. So I'll put the Falcons first, I'll put the 49ers at the top, and then we have the Steelers at the bottom. So now once I have these values set, I can click on save. That now saves that selection list to the database. I have the field created with a selection list. So if I scroll down just a little bit, down here at the bottom, you'll see I have football teams with the field name comp_football, selection list. If I click on that, I can edit, take away, change whatever I want to with the selection list at this point. So I'll come back out of that screen, and now what I can do is I actually want to place that field on a screen. So to do this, we'll go to Administration, Customization, Company, and we'll go to the Screens tab. And on the Screens tab, I want to actually add that field, football teams, to the company entry screen. Now if you don't know which screen to add it on, well, I know because I've been doing this for a while, but if I go to my main menu, if I go in Administration and I check the inline customization box and I go to my main menu and then I go to a company such as Ronald Black here, when I go to that company, I now have the option of seeing a customized screen. If I click on Customize Screen, this will allow me to add to my list that football team field we just added. So there's the field list. I choose the football team's field. I click on Add. That places that field over here on the left in my list of screens. I'll hit Save. And now if I refresh this screen by clicking on the tab, I now have football teams listed here. I can go turn off that translation so I don't have to use inline customization anymore. I can go back to my main menu, and on my main menu I now have football teams listed here. At this point I can actually populate this value with a value from my selection list. So I click on Change. So here's my field. Click on the drop down. There's my list that we created earlier. So I'll choose the 49ers and I'll click on Save. At this point I now have a field added to the database. I've placed it on my first screen, but now this field needs to be a little bit more useful, and what that means is I want to be able to add or search on that value, the 49ers, on a find screen. So in order to do that, I have to go customize that screen as well. So let's show you that now. In order to do this, I'll go back to Administration, Customization, and Company, and I'll check the box that says Inline Customization again. Once I have that box checked, I can go back to my main menu, and the search screen is what I wanted to customize. So I'll right-click, choose Company, and now I have the ability to customize the company search screen. I click on the Customize option. I choose from my field list the football teams. I click on Add. The football team field shows up over here on the left. I click on Save, and now I have the football team's value available here. So I'll go turn off that inline customization option. Come back to my main menu. Now when I click on the drop down, I have 49ers listed here. I'll click on Find. Now you can see I have Ronald Black, and I have the 49ers team associated to them. But I really want to see what teams are associated to each company, and the best way to do that is to possibly customize this list here at the bottom, which is called a grid. And to do that, I would go to Administration, Customization, Company. On the List tab, I'm going to customize the company grid. Now this one I needed to know, but it's not hard to figure out which one. So I click on the company grid. I now choose the company field, football teams, and I add it. It now shows up at the end of the list, and I can move it up if I want. So I'm going to move it up a few rows, or columns actually. I'll hit Update. That saves my change. Click on Save to save the screen change. And now when I come back to my main menu, and I choose the 49ers again, and I click on Find, I now have the ability to see the football teams, the 49ers, listed here. So if I hit Clear, and let's go over to another company, so I'll just pick, let's see, actually I'm going to click on Find here, choose All Teams, and I will choose 3G Homes, and I'll click on Change, and I can choose the Steelers here, and click on Save. And at this point, when I come back to my Finder, you can now see that the Steelers has been selected. And if I choose from the list the 49ers, you see when I click on Find, there's my team, the 49ers, associated to Ronald Black. If I choose the Steelers and click on Find, I now have the company 3G Homes associated to the Steelers. So now you can see how easy it is to add a field and then place it on 3 different screens within Sage CRM within just a few couple of minutes. Let's review what we've done. We've added a field to the company table. We've then placed that field on the company entry screen. We then populated that value with a value from the selection list that we built when we added the company field. We then added that field to the search screen. We're then able to search on the value that we populated in the screen that we entered the company table into. We then also did a search, and as a result of the search we get a list or a grid that shows the values that we previously selected. So within just a couple of minutes we've been able to customize Sage CRM, add a field, place it on 3 different screens, and you can see how easy it is to customize Sage CRM without having to write any code. Thank you for attending our session. If you have any questions about the products you've seen here, please reach out to Sage at 1-877-237-5786, or you can reach us at sales.acpac@sage.com. Again, thank you for attending our session on fast and easy codeless customization within Sage CRM. Hopefully you found how easy it is a barely benefit.